Hello again, everybody. It's Todd Staruch, the Horror Nerd, here at New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival at the NJ Expo Center in Edison, New Jersey. We have had a great weekend here, folks. Very busy convention. A lot of great guests and cosplay and panels. And I am having a blast. It's about to get better because I'm sitting here with Tiffany Helm. Tiffany, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for stopping by the table.
Great. Yeah, I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
So how's the show been for you?
The show's been great. I'm surprised. I never know what to expect from the shows. I mean, and they all have a life of their own.
Right.
This has been really, really a great show, and the people here are awesome on both sides. You know, the volunteers, the promoters, of course the fans. Everyone's been great. It's excellent trip. So
great.
I love New Jersey. I absolutely love it.
All right. Like we're...
No, we went to the Edison Museum.
Oh,
we went twice,
nice.
Actually. So I met some friends here, and we went to it for the tour, which was fabulous. And then we went back last night to get some photos of it at Blue Hour, and it was magical. It was like, first there was this family of deer. So we watched the deer for a while, and they were like nuzzling each other. It was like a Snow White episode, right? So and as the sun went down, all these bats started coming out, and big ones. They were like this big. Bats everywhere. Then the fireflies came out. I was just like, and I got some amazing photographs.
Nice.
So yeah, Edison Museum, love it.
New Jersey gets a bad rap, and our rule is if you're from New Jersey, you can complain all you want. But if you're not from New Jersey,
that's kind of, I think that's everywhere.
Hackles will get up a little bit.
That's everywhere. No, I love it, and you know, I'm over in Alberta now, so I miss the trees, the big trees. Like we had big trees in Seattle and Washington, so I see the trees here, and I'm just like, oh, I'm like in a candy store. It's gorgeous. I love New Jersey.
Fantastic.
But I haven't seen the New Jersey Devil yet, and I've been here 3 times. I'm waiting.
You need to go a little further south to the Pine Barrens.
Yeah, I'm not by myself.
To encounter the Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Have you seen?
I have not. I mean, I grew up my whole life in New Jersey. My grandparents lived down in that area. And let's just say I did hear weird stuff in the middle of the night, you know, and I'm like, I'll let someone else go figure out what that was.
Well, the truth is somewhere in the middle, right?
Sure.
We know that. So, but yeah, I'm into the New Jersey Devil. So, but haven't seen. I would think somebody be doing cosplaying, or maybe that's too stereotypical. Is it just?
I have, you know, I go to a lot of cons here in New Jersey, and I've only seen that once.
There's a niche needs to be filled.
As a cosplay. There's a ton of indie films about it.
Yeah.
You know, and even I think a few mainstream ones about it. But cosplay, it's a good point. Only one time.
Well.
And I didn't even know exactly. I thought it was just oh, look, you're like a giant bat or something. I'm like, oh, I'm the Jersey. The guy was mad.
Devil.
He's like, I'm the Jersey Devil. I'm like, oh, okay.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Right? The famous Seinfeld episode with Putty, like, the Devils. Anyway, yeah, I like the team too. So
excellent. Good for you. That's I'm from here. So I'm a Devils fan. My daughter loves the Devils.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Hopefully, since my baseball team went down in flames, which is the Mets, hopefully hockey will have a good season.
I hope so.
Fantastic. So let's talk about Friday the 13th real quick, obviously, right? We'll show a quick photo, right? Does it ever surprise you, like after all these years, the enduring power of this franchise? Because this is one of the biggies. You know?
Yeah, it's really, this whole subculture is amazing. I mean, it didn't exist when I did this film, and like I've said many times, it's like, just be cool to people. You don't know what you're going to be remembered for. You have no idea what your legacy is going to be. And I mean, this is actually my first HorrorCon I ever did was in New Jersey.
Okay,
so this is my 3rd time doing a con here, and it's truly fascinating. And it's not just oldie moldies like myself. There's young people too who absolutely love this stuff and just gobble it up. The fans are always great. I mean, I've met a few people that, you know, are a little disturbing. And, you know, I've had to take some action against a few individuals. But for them, I mean, 95% of the fans are like the most amazing, gracious, wonderful people. See, there's a little fan right there.
I know, right?
So, yeah, it is truly amazing. And I always tell people, when they're like, oh, Violet, and I said I was sorry, and piss off. And I'm like, you guys have looked at my resume, right? You've seen I've worked with, like, Robert Altman, co-starred with Johnny Depp and Brad Pitt, John Stamos, and, Martin Mull, Dennis Hopper, and people are just like, yeah, but Violet. but Violet, how do you feel that wasn't the real Jason? I'm like, oh, okay, well, So this is this is the legacy. So, but by the way, OC and Stiggs has just had a re-release on Blu-ray, so I'll plug that for a minute.
Absolutely.
And that has nothing to do with the strike. That's an independent film company that released it on Blu-ray. So,
it's funny you mentioned that about some of the fans. That's like the William Shatner. It's just a TV show moment. Where they focus on this detail.
Yeah, it's great. I think about all the actors out there. There's so many of us who are just struggling, and I'm still actually a struggling actress as well. But people who, for whatever reason, and again, like I said, luck and timing and good lighting. But it's just bad luck that they haven't gotten to do like what they want to do. I mean, I'm just filled with gratitude for it, that this character, is so remembered. It's amazing, and I had no idea at the time. No idea.
I hear that a lot from whether it's Friday the 13th, Elm Street, whatever.
Yeah.
At the time, we're just making a movie,
Right. Well, my mom tells this story because, my mom was in 2 and 3. Mm-hmm. And she tells a story how she really didn't want to get into the franchise. She was creeped out by the whole thing and thought maybe there would be like copycat killers. And, she talks about that. I'm like, I don't think that's ever happened, I mean, there's
my knowledge.
There's some bad stuff out there, but I haven't heard of people like, well, I'm going to be a Freddy Krueger or I'm going to be a Jason. Anyway, she started on the franchises, and she shares this story that on like the first day she's there, and there's all this hubbub and security, and it's like there's a fire to put out somewhere, and it turns out somebody had broken into the wardrobe trailer and taken one of Freddy's sweaters. Oh. Now they have a bunch of them because it's, you got to have a dozen of the same thing and for different scenes. But this was like a big thing that Freddy's sweater had been stolen. And my mom had the realization, she's like, holy smokes, like, this is a big deal. And for somebody to risk like a felony charge, breaking into a studio and stealing one of those sweaters, she's like, this is much bigger than I thought. And she's like, okay, I'm in. Like, did not look back and did it. And now she's in Indiana doing a horror con of her own this weekend. So
cool.
Yeah. So hopefully we do one together again soon. But yeah.
Cool. So now, I realized it when you said it. So my question is, was acting something you just had always wanted to do, or was like, oh, my mom does it, so maybe, were you steered in that direction, or?
Well, I mean, it was a little bit of both. In our school, we had an amazing theater department. We had 2 stages. We had our theater arts department, we had our musical comedy department, we had classes that supported all elements of tech. I was really fortunate. So I've always loved it, and I would do stage stuff. But I wasn't really wanting to go into acting because I was afraid of the trap that I got caught in, where, because there's no cutoff, right? They're hiring actors into their 80s. So, there's no, like, you got to get out and go do something else, right?
Right.
Because I didn't want that. So I tried just maybe modeling. I was like, okay, that's short-lived. Like at the age of 20, you're washed up, right? Like, or 19, like time to move on. But at the time, I wasn't, like I didn't have the model look. Like I wasn't 5'10". I wasn't like, I didn't have super like symmetrical face. And I mean, now it's very, very different. Now It's really cool. Like they have people, of course they have people of all colors, they have people of all shapes and sizes. If they have disabilities, like it's a much more open market now.
More
it was not open then. So my modeling career was kind of short-lived. And so I was like, I'll do commercials, because that's still not really delving into acting. And then, my commercial agency started sending me on all these, like, film and TV auditions, and that's when I started booking. And working on a Robert Altman film is one of my first. Absolutely got me stuck in the trap. I got stuck in it, but I love it. And it's, I took a 20-year hiatus from it when we were in Seattle. And now I'm dabbling again in it, even though there are no major roles cast where I'm living. It's all like under fives and day player stuff. But it's just getting back on a set. I'm like, yeah, I love this. Like it is. It's in my blood. And what can I say?
Fair enough. Like sometimes it is. My daughter was, in the musical theater, and she loves that.
Yeah.
She just does.
Yeah.
So.
And if you can, make any kind of living from it, then more power to you.
Fantastic. So one last question, Tiffany. So you have had so many varied roles, as you've said. Obviously you're remembered in the horror genre. Do you have a personal favorite?
I can't say I have the favorite would be for different things. Like I had, as far as all the characters, you're going to have to look at my resume. I'm like, what the heck did I do?
Didn't mean to stump you. I'm sorry.
But they're all different. So I do really love working on film for the duration and the relationships that you build while you're on a film, simply because you've been on them for a long time. But Jump Street was great. We had a freaking blast on Jump Street. And that was a very pivotal time in my life. So that was, but again, I go back to OC and Stiggs, as a 19-year-old going out and working with Robert Altman. And again, that amazing cast, it was, again, a very pivotal time. The stuff I've done recently, I got to say Red Letter Day, even though I was only on it for a day, I had so much fun with them. So, it's really hard to nail it down. And again, I've done so much different stuff. Like I worked, with Jack Klugman and John Stamos doing the 3-camera sitcom in front of a live audience. So that's a very different experience than film or just regular television or commercials. So they're all unique in their own way, and they're all favorites for different reasons, right?
That's fair. And you know what? That's a response that I get a lot, and then other times people zero in on one that for whatever reason was their
I don't think I've done the favorite character yet. Like my favorite character, I don't think I've done it yet. I'm waiting for that one. I'm and again, this has nothing to do with strike, but I'm working on the development of a script where it's a husband and wife team that's writing a horror film, and they want me to be the main character, a villain. So we'll see if that gets off the ground.
I hope so, because I love villains.
It's a
villains
great
are always
premise.
way better than the heroes.
Right?
They are.
Yeah, it's a great premise. So I'm really hoping that we get it up and running, but you never know. So one step at a time, enjoy the journey, and we'll see.
Fantastic.
Fingers crossed.
Tiffany, thank you so much for a few minutes of your time.
Absolutely.
Before I leave you be, do you have any final words you'd like to share with the fans out there?
Oh, gosh. Put me on the spot. I don't know. Thank you so much for all the support. You guys are the best, and I couldn't be doing this without you. So I hope to see you at a con if you haven't been there. And for the cons, if there's somebody you want to see, message the promoters, because they listen to you more than they listen to us. So whoever it is you want to see, just keep messaging the promoters. And the cons are international, so hopefully we can come to a city, state, or country that you're in.
Fantastic.
All right.
Tiffany Helm, everybody. Todd Staruch, the Horror Nerd, signing off from New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival at the New Jersey Expo Center in Edison. We will see all of you in the next interview.